What is up, Husker Nation? Back at you. Today, we're going to be talking about star Kentucky wide receiver Dane Key, who has transferred over to the Big Red in this portal cycle. What he means for the team, what's his production going to look like, and why it's so important that we got a receiver of this caliber. Let's go. Right off the bat, I want to say good job to Dana Holgorsen, Matt Rule, and Da'Keel Shorts for getting this guy over. This guy was highly sought after. Mind you, this recruitment came down to the wire between Nebraska, Ole Miss, and Georgia. That's some big players we're going against. And we got a player of Dane Key's caliber who has been Kentucky's wide receiver one for dang near 3 years now. He is an important addition for the Huskers. Let's watch a couple clips of his and break him down a little bit. So right here, he's just going to be on a big, deep dig, and those sure hands of his hold on to it easy. This next one's the same idea. Just a little bit of play action, and you can rip it right to him up the seam. This next one, in a third down, must-have-it scenario. He runs the out, his hands go for it, he grabs it, first down every single time. And I think these clips really exemplify the strengths of Dane Key's game, and that's his sure hands and his veteran route running. He started all 3 years at Kentucky, been productive all 3 years. He's coming to us, to Nebraska, to be his jumping point to the NFL. All right, so he's going to be catching balls from Dylan Raiola this year, and I expect him to be getting first downs very often on those digs over the middle, on those curls, anything where if you put it on the money, on his hands, he is going to catch them every single time. And that's something we've really missed this year with Nair and Banks, as we've seen some very untimely drops that have cost us a lot. Now, you might not initially be super impressed by Dane Key's athleticism or long speed. I mean, a long catch of 42 in 2024 isn't exactly what you'd call a deep threat, but his average yards per catch of 15 is a really good sign. That means he's catching those intermediate balls that we struggled with this year, throwing over the middle of the field and receivers getting open in the middle of the field. Dane Key is that veteran receiver that will be a sure hand for Dylan Raiola to throw to. Now, he's not just a slow and steady tortoise that'll get you first downs. He can explode with receiving production. All right, this year versus Ohio, 7 catches, 145 yards. Boom. Next week, Ole Miss, 8 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown. Boom. Next week, Vanderbilt, 8 catches, 83 yards, and another touchdown. This guy can explode for huge games, and I'm looking to see that next year. I want 100 yards from him multiple times this year. All right, so how does Dane Key fit on this team? If you ask me, and pretty much anyone else, he is the immediate wide receiver one, ready to get the most targets on the team. And boy, am I excited for that. It was telling that a team like Georgia wanted him to be their wide receiver one, but they couldn't get him. Couldn't pry him away from the Big Red. They had to settle for Zachariah Branch. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but Dane Key is elite. I expect him to have a great year. I expect him to go to the NFL and give us one more reason to watch on Sundays. All right, I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.